Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to show you a new processing technique called selective editing. So you know how to adjust the overall brightness, contrasts, saturation, etc. On your whole photo. What I want to show you today is how to apply edits to specific areas in your photo. A lot of images can be enhanced with this. You can use it to draw the viewer's attention to specific areas. You can use it to sort of like make other less important things kind of recede into the background so they don't pull as much attention. Different things like that. There's a lot of different possibilities for selective editing. So let me show you how to do it. So I'm already in Snapseed. I've already got my photo open. I'm ready to go here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into Tools, as usual, and Brush. All right. So with Brush, I have a few options here. You can see it pops up. And if I click the little brush icon in the bottom menu, it pops up and hides this chooser here. And what this does is allows me to sort of choose what style of selective editing I want to do. Okay, dodge and burn, that's going to make things darker and brighter. Exposure is going to be pretty similar. Temperature, well, we talked about white balance last week. This is basically you can control the white balance in specific areas. So that kind of orangey blue sort of scale, you can adjust the color on the orange blue axis of the color wheel. And we also have saturation, so the intensity of the color, which we've talked about as well before. All right, so I'm going to start off with dodge and burn here. So I got this photo of Jack and Josh sleeping. And so I'm going to just tap dodge and burn in this little pop-up menu, and then it'll go down. All right. My suggestion is you're going to want to zoom in a little bit for this. And when you zoom, you can actually see how big your brush is. Okay, that little circle, broken circle that appears there, that is the size of your brush, which you're going to use with your finger. You're just going to tap, and you're going to sort of slide your finger over the photo. Now, when you zoom in, you're probably going to need to pan around, like move the image around like this to get to different parts of the photo, because when you zoom in, you can't see the whole thing, right? So I would highly recommend that you use the box at the bottom left. You can see it. It's got the white box and then the smaller blue box inside of it. The white box represents the whole photo. The smaller blue box represents your current view, what you can see right now. If you click on that blue box and you drag it around, then it's going to take you to different areas of the photo. Okay, so that'll allow you to get where you need to go. All right, so what I want to do is I want to start by brightening up Jack's face here. So before I start painting, I want to make sure I set my brush to do what I want it to. So I already chose the dodge and burn mode, but now which direction do I want to go? So do I want to make it brighter or do I want to make it darker, and how much? Okay, so if you look in the middle, you'll see right now I have +10 and it says dodge and burn right there. Okay, so if I hit the down arrow, now it's +5. Now it's the eraser. Okay, so that's going to clear everything. We'll talk about that in a minute. -5 and -10, and those are my options. All right, so I'm going to go +5 here. I want to brighten Jack's face. So now I'm just going to tap on his face and just start painting, and you can see it gets brighter. Okay, I'm going to just do a little bit. I'm going to keep it subtle. Now I'm going to do a little bit on Josh's face. He's kind of facing away from the light, but I think maybe just that little area right there, that would be a good thing. All right, now if I pinch on my photo, as in any other photo editing or viewing app, you pinch in and out to zoom. Now I can get a better view. Now this one, most of the other tools that we've talked about, you could tap anywhere on your photo and hold, and that shows you the before, let go, and it shows you the after. You can't do that on this one because you tap and it thinks, oh, you're trying to paint. So instead, what you need to do in the very top right corner, you'll see that little box with a line through it and half of it's dotted. You tap that and hold it. That's before. Let it go after. Before, after, like that. Okay, you can see that this made a pretty dramatic difference on Jack and Josh's face here. Let me see. One more thing I'd like to do here is I'd like to actually darken the rest of the scene to kind of draw your attention in even more. Obviously, I've done that to some extent by brightening their faces. But so now I'm going to tap the down button a couple times. I'm going to go -5 now. And I'm just going to start painting. And as I go over the sort of the surrounding scene, you can kind of see, yep, it's definitely getting darker. So now let me tap before and after. There we go. Oh yeah, wow. That's really, really drawing you into their faces there. So that's good. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, if you hit the eyeball, by the way, you can see overlaid in red the areas that you have painted. Okay. Oh yeah, and the eraser. So if you tap the up and down arrows until it's right in the center, you get into eraser mode. And what you can do with that is you can just delete some of that. You can use the eyeball or not. You don't have to be in that mode. And that's basically just like if you want to kind of say maybe you went a little too far and you kind of cut into an area that you didn't want to adjust, then you can use the eraser to kind of like erase that paint area. Okay. And now actually I'm going to add that back in because I did like that a little darker in there. That good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the checkbox, and that's going to set it. All right, let me grab another. Oops, let me export this thing before I do that. Of course, I want to save, export. Okay, we'll do that. Great. Okay, let me go back to open and switch to another photo here. What's going on? Yep, open it. Do it. There we go. Okay, so here's another one. I'm working on a series of my kids sleeping, so I thought this was kind of cute. He was sleeping with his truck and his Jeep. So, all right, so let me pull up the brush tool again here. This time I want to use the temperature one, just so we can kind of get an idea here. All right, so if I brush over his face, you can see, oh yeah, that's definitely warming things up. It's making it a lot more orange. I don't think I really like that, to be honest. I'm going to X out of that and go back in. All right. But what I am going to try is I'm going to go negative. Let me do -5. Not get too crazy. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and brush. Oh, whoops. I'm on the wrong mode. Hold on. Temperature. There we go. Okay. So let me go -5 and we brush in sort of the surrounding area here. And by the way, the more you go over this stuff, the more intense it gets. Okay, so you can see, I'm going over it more and more and more, and it's getting super blue, maybe a bit much. So I might even go up to the eraser here and just kind of clean that up a little bit. Let me start over. Okay, let me just kind of go gently with it. I just want to add a hint of blue to the surrounding area to give that kind of nighttime feel. Okay, so we'll go with something like that. Let me check the before and after. Yeah, not bad. I just didn't want to add the blue on his face. Otherwise, I could have just shifted the whole thing more towards the blue using the white balance tool. But this is nice because it allows you to just do specific things in specific areas. All right, let me try one more thing, saturation. Let me just make the saturation pop a little bit on his face there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's good. Kind of gives a little bit more rosiness to his cheeks there. All right, so a lot of cool options with the selective editing tool here that we have, the brush tool rather. Make sure you export. There we go. All right, so check it out. Use this on your processed images. Try to make it look realistic. Don't make it. What I mean by that is try not to make it look obvious that you've done selective editing. Okay. If you lean on this too hard, if you go over an area too much, or you do it wrong, or whatever, it can kind of start to look like, oh yeah, that's been modified in that area. And generally, the sort of rule of thumb with all these edits that we're trying to do is you don't really want it to look like it was edited in a computer. You just want it to look like an awesome photo. Okay, so generally, you want to try to keep that in the back of your mind. Always use that before after. And that is very helpful in sort of determining like if things are starting to look a little bit fake or a lot fake, and if you need to kind of scale them back. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go. All right, so let's see what you can come up with.